Yo, what it do? Today we are talking about Blood Origin. It is not good.
Nope.
It is not good, and that is for a whole host of reasons, for which I will go into as soon as I give you a brief synopsis of this mess. So basically, we have an empress who has devised a plan along with a mage named Chief David Baylor, who want to improve elven kind, and by doing that they murder everyone, all of the other houses except their own. In doing so, they can't be opposed in anything they do. At the same time, Chief Baylor has a separate mission of his own, or a different agenda. He is speaking with some sort of dark spirit or some sort of thing from another realm, planet, time, whatever. And he is in the process of trying to make a deal to be able to take power for himself. I'll get back to that in a moment. At the same time, we have our heroes. We'll call them heroes. At the same time, we have our heroes who are on the other side of all of this, and they are starting to come together. For the overall, I don't think the actors did a bad job. I don't think it was them that made the mistake here. But again, we'll come back to that. So after learning of the death of their loved ones, they all devise this plan to attack the castle and kill the empress. And the mage has a monster or dragon that they need to deal with first, so they have to devise a plan to come up with that. Hence the first, I wouldn't even say he's the first, but he's the previous Witcher. And then they just go to the castle eventually by episode 4, after dealing with a lot of mess, and they take out the empress and all is saved. Kind of. Mostly. Here are the issues that I found with this show. Buckle up, because there are a few. I don't understand the motivations of the empress or Baylor in this. They didn't make sense whatsoever. She and he devised a plan to kill all of the other factions so that she could have peace for the elves. But she didn't do that. Like, who is she at war with? Who is she still trying to take from? You've killed everyone in the region who is in power. And you have a monster and a mage. So what are you doing? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? How are your people starving and you have a magician? Can you explain that to me? Like, why are your people dying? You did this to help them, and immediately was like, I could get used to this. I like not feeding anybody and doing all this. I don't understand what she was doing. The mage, Baylor, I had two issues with him. One, I'm not buying him as menacing. Okay, he is way too nice. All right, this dude is way too nice. I would have a beer with this dude. That's it. That's all I'm saying. He did not look like he was just gonna go out and kill anybody. Second, what the hell were his motivations? What was he doing? He had a monster to be able to do whatever he wanted. No one could kill this thing. No one. So what power were you looking for to be able to take over anything you wanted to? The monster couldn't do it. Like, no one could stop this. You could literally go to any castle and be like, yo, just go turn everybody into paprika, do that, and come on back here, and we're good. You could have taken over anything with that thing. Anything. There was nothing out there that could have stopped you. So he's been doing all this for chaos power. Or yeah. Does chaos power translate into fire? Because that's all he got. But at the end, that's all he got. He was able to have fire. That's it? That's what you wanted? You needed a power that couldn't be stopped, and you were stopped in 5 minutes. So that's my issue with Baylor. And he just nothing he did made sense. Like this. Like Cosby. Why? I don't understand anything on this show. Why are you doing that? I mean, what is that? What are you doing, sir? Why are you doing this? These people are working for you. Let's talk about how convenient everything is. I have never, ever just been walking around and be like, hey, Paul, you know what? You're doing a great job, but also, here's what you need to know today so that you can complete all of your goals. Every person that they came in contact with had information to move the story along. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. From strangers? And everybody in here was way too trusting. Like, they started out wanting to stab each other, and then they were like, oh, you seem like you're on a valiant quest. I'd like to join you. Here, eat my food. I feel like if you're doing a 4-episode thing, then you have to be able to bring your people together faster. Like, you can't take 2 of those episodes to bring people together. Had I done it, they would already be together, and then you just kind of show flashbacks of how they all kind of came together, you know, and do it like that. That way you can already get into the story, and you don't have to worry about the ridiculousness of how fast they all came together as a group, because that's literally what this was. The set designs were way too clean. The castle was way too clean. It just didn't have that back in the day, you know, rugged look to it. It didn't make a lot of sense the way that it looked. Clearly they didn't have a lot of money, because you never got the sense that they were up against insurmountable odds when they were going into any place. If they had to fight troops, it was always like 6 or 7. And that was it. They never did any more than that. The only time, matter of fact, no, I think the only time that I saw more troops than that is when Michelle Yeoh character marched to the castle to request troops in the 4th episode to pretend like she was going to capture her friends and then bring them to the empress. And I think they only had like 12 people. You never felt like they were fighting a huge army, because you never saw it. They were never there. You got the same 6 or 7 people just running through the corridors. Be like, oh, you dead? All right, we'll go around the corner. Come on back. We'll do it again. And I feel like they just kept doing that, and you're just like, no. They weren't in the hallways. They weren't in the chamber where the empress was, where you think they would be protecting her. They weren't like out on balconies. Nothing. They were nowhere. The monster ended up looking like shit. It looked like somebody took paint, put it on a piece of paper, and just did this, or just like smeared it and just did that. It looked bad. It looked like there was no effort put into this. This I think should not have been done. And again, it's not the fault of the actors at all. I think that they did a fairly good job. I am not going to sit here and say that, oh, you can't have elves and dwarves together, or there's no way that black people and white people would have been together back then. It is a science fiction show. It ain't real. Okay? That means you can do whatever the fuck you want. I've seen some people say that you can't have people back in the day be together, or you can't have, or why are there women so like, why are there women so like strong or whatever? How come there aren't men? Y'all need to calm the fuck down. Like, you need to chill out. You know what I'm saying? This is a science fiction show. If they want to make a dog the goddamn hero, then that's what they can do. You know what I'm saying? Nothing has to be historically accurate because it is a fake show. Okay, Pumpkin? All right. There was something else I wanted to point out about. Oh yeah, it was it was Baylor again. Goddamn Baylor. So Baylor, turns out, he was just acting like a 3-year-old kid this whole time. Just like, none of you like me. I could tell. None of you like me. That's why you did all this shit. That's why you acted like this, man. Again, the motivation just made zero sense. They had everything. They killed all the people who could have opposed them. And they had a monster. What else did you want? As a matter of fact, it didn't even make sense that your people can't eat. Like, who is stopping you? Who are you fighting against at this point? Because there's no one left. You know what? I'm done thinking about this shit, and you should be too. Okay, kids? So go watch something interesting. Don't let it be this. And if any of the actors happen to see this one day, it is not your fault. You did a wonderful job. Most of you. And yeah, I'm gonna let that be that. So y'all have a blessed day and a happy new year. And yeah, y'all be easy. All right, I'll holler at y'all later. Chill.